All right, guys, I'm in between tournaments. Got my boat back home after a little dilemma with my truck and a deer. So I got my boat back home. We're out here at my home lake, Lake Lopez. I got a special guest, Frank. Daniel, the cameraman, is gonna do some fishing. Frank's with Bioenno batteries. It's a lithium battery, California-based company. Got them rigged in the boat. We're gonna do some product videos a little bit later. So you wanna make sure and check those out and learn all about lithium. I got some new Jackall baits, some crankbaits and jerk baits and things like that we're gonna test out here today. It's a little foggy, a little cold actually. We're here in the, what is this, the first week of April. So a lot of the country south of here, they're spawning. Here it's kind of a mix. There's probably some on beds. We're in a really bad drought right now. So a lot of the spawning grounds, the traditional spawning grounds, are out of the water. So a lot of these fish are forced to be on the main lake, and we're just gonna see what happens. You know, have fun, get some work done, catch some fish. And first time Frank's ever fished south of, I think he said the Delta or something like that. So hopefully it's a good welcome for him and not the Lopez that can sometimes happen. So here we go. You got one? Frank's on. Look at this guy.
Smallie.
You got one? They're up shallow. Chatterbait. Dang, little tub.
What'd you say that chatterbait was?
They have a pure poison, and they have the dancing chicken or whatever it is.
Oh, the thunder cricket?
Thunder cricket.
The dancing chicken. I like that name. We should rename it.
Brad Hyde's gonna be mad at you for throwing that. Oh, there's one. There's one. That's a nice one. Nope. Not a nice one. On the old Rerange. That color right there, that matte white, is really, really good, especially in low light conditions. Jeez, he got it good. Little chunk feeding on all the shad. Let him go. A Rerange. This is a regular 110 MR, or 110 Rerange, and then I got a MR, a medium runner right here. So it goes down a little deeper, same size body, but just the bill's a little bit bigger. You get a couple big ones.
Got one.
You're on? Yep. What was that on?
Understand?
Jeez. Oh, nice little largemouth. Frank's already a Lopez expert.
Welcome to Lopez.
Little one.
Another one?
Little. Rerange. This is a problem. Little dudes. They get bigger, Frank. Promise you. There's one.
Good one?
That's the first ever fish I've caught on a Digle. It's that new crankbait. It's just a little guy, but this is a new Jackall crankbait. Tackle's gonna have them pretty quick, but this is like a, this is what they call like a 2+, and they got a 4+, 5+. I think they might even have a 6+, but just a little guy. But that's the first ever one I caught on that, so you can see the shape of this. It's got a real nice coffin bill, real kind of, it's not a real wide wiggle, it's not a super tight, it's kind of that cross in between. And like I said, that 5+, I think you can get it down there pretty good, maybe, you know, 12 to 14, 15, 16 feet even, depending on the pound test you're throwing. So that's a cool little bait, little 2+ Digle, shad color. I'll show you some other ones. What's cool about it too, you can see the little Jackall emblem in the eye. That's pretty sweet. Let's get another one. Oh my gosh, dude, they were gnarly.
There's one.
There's one.
Smalley.
What is that on?
The Deracoup.
Deracoup.
Tailspin.
So that's a cool bait because you could like you're winding it. I've caught them like kind of like a yo-yo retrieve, kind of a jigging. Ooh, that's a nice smallmouth. That's a nice one. It's a fat little guy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a decent one. They don't get huge here, but they're beautiful colors.
Yeah, like a big one's like a 3-pounder. That's a big one for here. The Deracoup.
Deracoup.
You got one? Oh, that's a nice one. Underspin. There's one. Dude, that's cool. Little fat one. Look at how he ate this bait. Look at how fat that thing is. So this here is a new Mushbob Jackall Crankbait. Look how, I mean, that thing's like a football. Football season's over, but it's just a little fat pre-spawn male. But yeah, this here's a pretty little fish. This here's a new Jackall Mushbob Crankbait. This is a little bit deeper diving one. I'm not saying super deep, probably 7 to 8, maybe 9 feet. And then they got a shallower running one too, but you can see the body is really, really small. The bill's a little bit bigger, so you're getting that small profile bait down a little bit deeper. It's got a real tight wiggle. And again, for high pressure situations, this is going to get you more bites. And some of the colors are coming out with Tackle Warehouse is going to have them all here pretty quick. I was fortunate enough to have this one and a couple others, and now we're going to catch another big one. There's one.
Got one?
So a little guy, smallmouth. Smallmouth, little smallmouth. Look how orange they are. They say that's out here, they eat a lot of crawfish, and this crawfish out here are always like reddish, orangish, and that's why they say they're like that. But another one on the Digle. We kind of lost the wind. He's just a little guy. Kind of lost the wind, but so maybe we need to switch up from reaction baits. But that's that Digle 2+. Cool thing about it is Frank back here is like, man, are you breaking something? Because every time you cast, he hears like a knock, and that's the weight transfer system. So if you're fishing this thing against, you know, into the wind, you're gonna hear it like, and that's actually the weight in here transferring from the front of the bait to the back. So when you throw it, that thing is just, and it goes. So like I said, if you're casting against the wind, what have you, it gets you further distance, and then obviously that nice tight wiggle. And I'm looking forward to throwing the 5+ later on in the summer, post spawn. They got some nice colors. Like I said, I can't get over that Jackall eye. That's too cool. And the big thing about it too is that coffin bill. Something different. It's not a round bill, not a square bill. It has a different action, a weight transfer system, sharp hooks. They're all ready to go. So we just need to get around some bigger fish. You can hear it right there. Got him?
Little one.
Little?
Yeah.
Right on the bank, dude.
Oh, just smallmouth. On the Deracoup.
Look at that guy.
Another little smallmouth. On the tailspin. This one looked like someone tried to get him.
Oh yeah, cormorant.
Battle
Another one on the mush. Oh, he came off.
battle scars.
A little smallmouth, I bet. Cormorant tried to get him probably. came back and got it. That's on the that's on that MR. So this morning I caught him on the, you can go ahead and take that, Frank. Caught him on the regular Rerange 110. This is a MR, kind of like a ghost shad looking color. So I'll show you the difference here in 1 second. I love having 3 hooks on a jerkbait like that. Nice little fish. All right, so this is the 110 Rerange MR, Rerange 110 MR. So the difference between this and the regular 110 is very simple. So this is the one I started off this morning, kind of darker. We had that fog and wind blowing in, so I went with the matte white. And this is the one we started getting a little bit more clear water, ghost minnow color. But you can see the difference in the size of bills. So the MR is going to run just a little bit deeper. So, you know, if you want your bait to fish in that, I'd say 2 to 5 foot zone, the regular 110 Rerange is going to be the deal. If you want to get down a little bit deeper, you know, that I'd say 5 to 8, 9 foot of water, then you go with the MR. Still got the same 3 treble hooks, which I really like. The body is pretty much identical. You can see the length of the body, the shape, everything's the same. It's just that bill. So, and again, it's got the, like the Digle, I've been throwing that new Jackall crankbait, the Digle. It's got the weight transfer system. Actually, in this ghost minnow one, you can see right here, you can see that weight. So when you cast it, it slides back and forth, and it's going to give you that leverage, and to make those casts against the wind helps out a lot. I promise you it does. So that's the same kind of concept that's in that Digle crankbait as well. But there's your 2 sizes. And yeah, we're gonna see if we can catch a real big one now. There's one. Another one on the Rerange. Looks like a better one. No?
I'm gonna come up there.
Oh yeah, nice smallmouth. Look at that, pretty smallmouth. I was on that MR.
Look at that.
How orange he is. Isn't that crazy? All right, finally got a decent sized smallmouth. They don't get giant out here. I mean, that's a pretty decent one for here. But see how orange they are? That's what I was talking about earlier. They're in here, they feed on those crawfish, and they just, that's the color they are. It's weird. Pretty little fish. MR Rerange 110 ghost minnow. Let that guy go. All right, so I'm gonna go into what I'm using for the Rerange. I got, like I said, the MR, and then I got the regular 110 Rerange. 2 different setups. Kind of experimenting with this rod right here, and it's actually working out really well. This here is a 7'3", just regular casting rod, Tatula, medium heavy. I generally kind of like glass, but I was like, well, I'm throwing this a little bit deeper diver. I want to see, you know, how that kind of reacts, and I'm really making that bait jump a lot. And that quick, fast tip is, I was worried about it kind of not absorbing when a fish eats it, but so far, so good. I'm throwing the new Zillion 7-to-1 gear ratio reel. I mean, it's awesome for throwing these light baits. You know, real smooth. The drag is extremely good. I got it kind of backed off because I am throwing a heavier action rod. So again, I got the drag a little bit loose. On the MR, I'm throwing 10-pound crank FC. And the reason for that is I wanted to get that bait down a little bit deeper. So 10-pound crank FC by Sunline. Now on my regular 110, this here's obviously I call it matte white or matte pearl, I think is what they call it. I'm throwing a 7'3" medium heavy glass rod. So here's the Rebellion, and I like that because it's got more of a forgiving tip than a regular, you know, graphite rod. So with working this bait, it really absorbs that shock, and when a fish bites it, you know, even at a close distance, you're not going to pull those hooks out of that fish's mouth. On this bait here, I'm going with 12-pound crank FC by Sunline, just because I don't want it to go as deep. If I wanted to get this bait a little bit deeper, I might go to 10 or even shoot 8. at sometimes, but this here is 12. That's the way I like it with that. And this here, the reel is a 7-to-1 gear ratio, Daiwa Tatula SVTW. For throwing these lighter baits against the wind, it's going to help you prevent backlashing. You can make long cast, super smooth. So those are my two setups. Kind of getting used to throwing that. I'm not sure yet on that. This is kind of like a worm and jig rod, but for the technique and the way I'm kind of experimenting with it today, it's kind of an all-around purpose rod, I guess. So far so good, and we're gonna keep catching fish. Here we go. There's one, a little largemouth on the old mush bobby. They like that little guy.
There's one. Oh, I hit your power pole. Sorry.
Better one?
Yeah, on the Thunder Cricket.
A good one? Dang. The old bladed jig.
This one I got from Cody Meyer. I think when we were fishing up at Lake of the Pines one time.
He doesn't ever give me anything. Oh yeah, that's a nice one.
There you go.
There you go.
Thanks for the chatterbait, Cody.
Oh my gosh.
Big one. So I just released mine. We got another one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. You got him, Frank?
All right, they're kind of eating the chatterbait, huh?
Oh yeah.
Nice, beautiful Lopez largemouth. Is that the same? Oh yeah, that is the same one. You just happen to have it tied up? That's awesome. Here, let's get a photo of that real quick and then we'll get a release.
That's awesome. I want to throw a chatterbait. Whoa! Mushbob, changed up to a bluegill color, had several little bites. It's got Daniel and Frank back there catching big ones on the vibrating jig. When they're eating it like that, you know you got the right bait. Little mushbob. All right, so I want to talk with you about my crankbait setups I've been fishing today. First of all, like I mentioned in the vlog, we got a couple new crankbaits from Jackall, the Digle and the Mushbob. And I pretty much got the same exact rod setup and reel setup and line setup. So what I got, first of all, is a Daiwa BLX limber casting rod. So 7'4". It's glass rod, and I really have fallen in love with this rod. I caught a bunch of fish at Clear Lake on it, yo-yoing traps, burning traps. It's kind of my all-around, I would say, shallow to medium diving crankbait, lipless crankbait rod. I mean, it's absolutely one of my favorites. I got both set up the same, a Daiwa Tatula SVTW reel. I just like that because it helps cut down on that backlashing. The Mushbob is a real light bait, so when you're casting against the wind, or you're trying to get a little bit extra distance out of there, you're not going to have that overrun and backlash. The line, I'm throwing 12-pound Crank FC by Sunline. That's kind of my go-to, pretty much all-purpose, shallow, medium crankbait. Now, if the lake was up in these bushes and stuff, I might go to 14 or 16-pound test, but there's really nothing other than a rock here and there in the lake right now during this drought to, make me want to throw a heavier line. But yeah, there's that BLX rod, really nice looking. And once you put this thing in your hand and you start throwing crankbaits, whether it's billed or lipless, you're gonna go, wow, man, they got that dialed in. So 7'4" BLX limber bait caster. Now the crankbaits. So the Mushbob, this here I would consider like a medium diver. You can see the body is really small. And so for getting that bait down, and they're used to seeing, bigger profile baits, this here is going to get you a lot of bites. I caught a bunch of fish on today, not really big ones, but it's still fun to catch fish. And then we have, here's the same exact color actually, just a smaller bill. So this is not obviously going to go as deep as this one, but you can see right here, again, the same kind of body style, just a bigger lip, you know, and you can cover some different water depths. Now with the Digle, here's what we got with that. So I'm throwing a bait called a 2+, and it's only getting down there, I feel like, anywhere from 6 to 8 foot. I'm throwing it on 12-pound crank FC also. Got a variety of colors. You need to check out the product page to see all the colors, because some of them I think I may have that you don't. Can we cut right there? Big one, dude. I'm trying to work, Frank. Dude, that's a nice one. I don't get that thing out of there. I'm trying to work. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the Digle. This here's a new crankbait. I mentioned before, it's got the coffin type bill, which, you know, it's got a different action, but also it's going to help cast that bait further. It's kind of, you know, it's shaped more aerodynamically. It's going to help you cast further along with the weight transfer system. 3+, 4+, 5+. Make sure to check out the variety of sizes and the colors on the product page. And we gotta catch some big ones. Frank over here, he's just catching nothing but big ones, and I'm working, he's fishing. So I gotta get to work. Oh, another double. Big one. Nice one. Daniel catches that one. Look what I catch. All right, guys, that's it. That's a wrap for the day. Had a great time. Caught a bunch of fish out here. No really big ones, but had a chance to fish the Mushbob, the Digle, obviously the Rerange Jerkbaits, the MR and the regular 110. You know, Daniel got some fish. We had Frank with us earlier in the day. He caught some nice fish. So great day overall. You guys make sure and like, share, tag a friend for your chance to win some new Jackall products. Some of the baits I fished with today provided by Jackall. And as always, make sure to check out tacklewarehouse.com for all the new gear and the best deals in town.